Hello, my name is Stephen Clower. I'm the accessibility specialist at Desmo Studio PBC. We create math products for everyone to use, and my job there is to make sure that they are accessible to as many people as possible, including those of us who are blind or visually impaired. I've been beta testing the Ally feature on the Envision Glasses for around a month, and I didn't do anything terribly special to get onto the beta team other than fill out the public beta form when that was made available to users of the Envision Glasses back in September. It took a little while, but I'm now on the team, and I've been enjoying putting Ally through its paces and seeing how it integrates to the other ways I've already been using my glasses. And it's been interesting. Overall, it's been a very positive experience. I've been able to ask the glasses questions which I didn't think the more basic tools would be able to handle. For example, I find that color identification with the standard Envision tools just isn't terribly reliable. It's not because the Envision tool is bad, but because the output is so dependent on ambient lighting, and it's hard to know which aspect of the field of view is being analyzed. But with the Ally feature, I can ask a specific question. For example, instead of just putting my glasses near something and trying to find out, is this blue? Is this black? Is it red? I can ask Ally specifically, what color is my shirt? And if I'm standing in a well lighted area, it will tell me what color my shirt is. It sounds really basic, but it's important, especially if you're in a professional environment and you want to make sure that your outfit matches, or you're just curious what you have. Or I went on a trip for the past month and picked up some gifts for family members, and it was nice to be able to ask Ally to describe each item to make sure that I gave the right gift to the right person. Something else that I've been using Ally for in my day-to-day work is doing video editing, ironically enough. Um, Part of my job does involve creating presentations and content for school districts and other partners for their professional development. And I recently was asked to create a video demonstrating one of my company's tools. I had never created video content before, so this was sort of a learning experience for me. So I did, and come to find out that the version of the video that I sent uh, for initial review had no video. It was totally blank. Lucky for me, this happened to occur at about the same time as I got on the Ally beta team, and I thought this might be a great way to test how well this technology would work. And it did. Um, while I was troubleshooting kind of the pipeline, I found Ally very helpful in analyzing sort of what it could see, and that would tell me very quickly, was my video there or not? When the video was not there, it would tell me what it could see as far as my screen, that it didn't look like there was much on it. There was something off to the left, which actually was my window, and that there was a reflection of me on the screen. So that told me that the screen was essentially black. When I fixed it, it then said that it looked like I was in the Desmos graphing calculator, which the video was. And this was while I was in the video editor. So the only way Ally would have seen that is if the video was working. And that saved me a lot of time having to go back and forth between my colleagues who are all remote. And it gave me some semblance of more independence in a very visual field. And as a blind person, that's not easy to do. So I'm grateful that Ally could help with that particular task. I'm still exploring what it can do and kind of where its limits are, but it's been fun finding out. Going back to the holiday that I was on recently, I found the glasses helpful in a few ways. Two that readily come to mind are when I was waiting for an Uber to show up. I was able to ask it to describe the vehicles that were driving by. For example, I was looking for, I think it was a white Chevrolet something, Anyhow, as each car would go by, I would ask the glasses to describe the car, and it did. So, first, it was just fun to find out what people were driving in the area because I don't live there anymore. But also, I was very confident when my ride did appear. Now, this was in the context of an area that didn't have a lot of traffic. I'm not sure how I would get Ally to work as well in a crowded area with a lot of people getting in and out of vehicles. That was one. Another let's see, another way that I found Ally useful was just before we had to leave the place we were staying, we were asked to put garbage in a green garbage bin. The instructions did not indicate where the garbage bin was. And so I was able to ask Ally, as I just kind of went to the front of the house versus the back of the house, if it saw any garbage bins. And it did in the back. So then I was able to go in front of each bin and ask Ally, what color are these bins? I would find out that one was brown, one was green, one was blue, one was black. I found the green one and I put the garbage in, and things are great. And these are minor tasks. I would have had to call somebody who could see, to really trust that what I was getting back was reliable. The final task that I found Ally useful for was summarizing a document. For example, I was in a restaurant and I held the menu up to the glasses and had to take a picture, and I wanted to know what type of meal was available that fit a certain diet. And it did, much to my surprise. I wasn't expecting it to, but it was able to summarize fairly accurately what my options were based on what it could see. And that saved me time having to try to scan a very large menu that was very reflective, which typically doesn't do so well with scanning software.
Ally, how's your day going so far?
My day is going well. Can you describe what's on my computer screen?
Let me take a look. It looks like your computer screen is showing a web browser with multiple tabs open. It's a bit hard to see the exact details because of the angle and lighting.
I moved the screen towards me a bit. Can you check again, please?
Let me take a look. I'm not able to see any content on your computer screen in the image. It looks like a dark or low light setting, mostly showing some equipment. Let me know if there's anything specific you'd like help with.
What color is my shirt?
Let me take a look. Your shirt is blue.
My shirt is blue. Wonderful.
Great. Blue is a fantastic color. If you need anything else, feel free to ask.
What time is it in Portugal?
Portugal is in the Western European time zone, which is the same as London during this time of year. So it's also 2:57 p.m. in Portugal right now.
What is the weather this weekend in Fort Wayne, Indiana?
This weekend in Fort Wayne, Indiana, the weather forecast shows it will be quite chilly with a few clouds. If you're planning to be outside, make sure to bundle up and stay warm. One finger swipe down again to exit. Ally.
So a couple pieces that I would find helpful with Ally. The first is that maybe a bit farther out there, but kind of a real-time video analysis. I would love to be able to give Ally a specific task, for example, watch for this red Chevrolet, maybe with a license plate of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, if it's able to see that, and just have the glasses continuously watch for that to occur. Or if I'm looking for that person with black hair in a red shirt, I can just say, start looking for this. And I just start walking, I turn my head, and when it sees something that matches those parameters, it would alert me and tell me the direction. And it would just keep going until I told it to stop. Both of those would be immensely helpful, especially as a blind traveler. Well, my traveling for the year is done. So I will probably be using Ally over the holidays, probably mostly just experimenting. I do some amateur radio work, and there's a contest this weekend, and I'm interested to see how well Ally might be able to read the display on my radio. A lot of these radios typically aren't very accessible. I'm kind of curious to see how it'll do. Um, Other than that, as the weather gets very cold up here in the Midwest United States, I expect Ally might be a good tool to help me uh, get some bearings if I get lost. As a cane traveler, when there's a lot of snow on the ground, I get very easily disoriented because everything is white and there's essentially no way to distinguish pavement from the road. And I always find that kind of disorienting. So Ally might be able to help orient me. But I do want to also say that just because Ally is here is not the only Envision tool that I use. The scan or the instant text tool I use a lot. When traveling, especially, I find it very helpful to read signs, departure gate information, things like that in airports. When I'm around the complex that I live in, I've learned kind of where a lot of the street signs are and what they say. And if I get lost, I do intend to use that tool to kind of help me as well. So it's not just about Ally. Envision's made some useful tools already in the glasses.